up, my beautiful gemstones? Welcome to Thursday night's Chillax and Chat with Miss Paranormal Pixie, Mr. Ghostdragonzw, and myself. So, Miss Vixen Doe, I did put the link to the stream for you to come on whenever you're ready in your email, because that was the only way that I knew how to contact you. A little bit. I know that we know who that is, but I don't know who it is. Deb. Darling Deb is a little bit, right? I think so.
I don't remember. Hey, Grey Wolf, how you doing, hon?
Andrew and Gnomes Trucking Express, TD Dean, Miss Smoochy Smoochy had a hard day. Blue Crossroads off until Tuesday. Well, guess what? After this stream, I'm not starting work again until Wednesday. How about that? It's my once-a-month doctor appointment. I just needed the break. I really do. I just get so overwhelmed so quickly. Everything's going great. There's nothing that's like really going wrong, but it's just a lot of sitting in front of the computer and typing. And as much as I love writing and I love streaming and I love all that, good stuff, I really do get like, it gets
still
intense.
an energetic drain, honey. It's still an energetic drain.
And I find like, and I know you guys are like, you're getting old, and maybe I am, because I think I've told you guys, I used to be able to read entire books in one sitting. And now just reviewing a 2,500 word script and I'm falling asleep like this. That's why my setup is like this. I used to just sit up against my headboard and type, but I can't because I fall asleep in the middle of what I'm doing. Eris, welcome. Vixen Doe, Grey Wolf Paranormal, good evening. So I did remember, darling Deb, very good. The new Oracle deck I was using yesterday, which I'm going to be using in your April personal, it actually has a gray wolf in here. I think it's spelled the American way, though. I'm not sure, though. I'll have to let you know. But I remember seeing it, and I'm like, oh, we have gray wolf. And I don't know. It was just cool to me, I guess. So tonight we're supposed to have a special guest, Miss Vixen Doe, going to come on and just talk about some encounters. I really don't know with what. I trust you guys that when you say you want to come on and discuss experiences, that you know the rules and you're not going to try to get me in trouble.
She's going to teach us how to fry bacon.
Teach us how to be nuggy. But other than that, I hope everyone's having a great night so far. And what's up with you guys? What's new?
Running.
I said, what's new? Not what's new.
I did today see something really weird. This time today, I saw this thing following this guy. Now, see, most of the things are like masses, black masses, shadows. This thing was like a smoky entity. I mean, there was smoke coming off it, like it was burning, but it was kind of a grayish. It looked like smoke. But it was in a form of figure, and it followed him in and out of the store. And then when he got into the car, it went into the trunk.
That's so interesting.
Isn't it? It's so weird. I've never seen anything like that before. Not with the smoke. I mean, it literally looked like smoke drifting. It was weird. And my dad's looking at me going, what are you watching? I tried to describe it to him. He goes, I don't get it, boy. I don't get it.
I've heard of things like that before, but I think where I've heard of it was probably in like some paranormal show. I don't know that I've ever actually seen a smoke entity, but I was telling you, Miss Lara, last week, and I ended up keeping RJ home from school Monday because he was really sick. But the activity in this house is just absolutely ridiculous. I said it last night too. It's like embarrassing. Because what? Okay, I'll try again. Because I can't like contain this in my own home, but my mom was very intimately assaulted in bed, and RG was definitely pushed down the stairs.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it happened last Saturday. So Saturday in the afternoon, it happened with RJ, and then like throughout the night going into Sunday, it happened with my mom. So you guys go ahead, and I am going to reshare the link.
That's fine.
So one of the things that I was doing during my meditations, focusing in, seeing if what I can pick up on. One of the things that I was getting was seeing, like if I were looking towards the back of the house and a doorway that leads into a kitchen or kitchen area, breakfast nook. Has she been seeing shadow going back and forth across that doorway?
Well, there's a back door, and then there's like the little table. It's like a tiny little dining room. That is the most active place in the house, and that's where we see a lot of the peripheral stuff in that room and like coming in and out of the kitchen. But now it's moving more towards like the bottom of the steps, and we see it fleeing. And then my office is the second most active downstairs.
Yeah. So not knowing exactly what your office setup is like, but the other place that I was seeing it, well, actually two, because I was seeing it in the corner. Do you see it like if you were facing your computer in your office? Do you ever catch it off to your right, kind of back in the corner?
That's, oh my God. Yes, that is the main spot where it just stands and lurks.
And it just stands there and watches.
As far as when it's moving around, that's when it's coming from the bottom of the stairs.
Right. And then your mom, has she said that she's seen it in the corner of her room, but up higher, almost like it were floating up above the floor?
That's why we're pretty sure it's like 10 foot tall.
Okay. It's not that tall. It's levitating, if you will. So it seems taller because of how it appears. It's actually six foot tall-ish is what its actual appearance is. But because of the way it shows itself, that shadowy,
she can't see its feet because of where her bed blocks it. So to her,
taller.
it's as high as almost the ceiling, and it's so embarrassing for me.
If it's levitating itself up,
anyone else, I would be like, "This is what it is. This is what we got to do. What can I do?" And it's like for some reason, and when I didn't stay here, I was able to get it. I just don't. Now it's like showing itself to me, which it never did before. And we're all like on eggshells in the house. We all have to say, I'm coming into the kitchen now, or I'm coming up the stairs, because everyone's so on edge. We're all so scared. I'm not in the habit of jumping, but they jump a lot. Like I'll just walk into a room and they'll be like, oh, and it's like, I just walked in. I didn't, but it's very frustrating for me. And I feel like it's taunting me.
So I'll do even more of a deep. I wanted to make sure that the information that I was pulling was accurate. Okay.
Yes, it definitely is so far.
I'm going to go deeper on it, but the other thing I did was I talked to my mentor, Sarah, and asked her what her thoughts were to kind of calm things down, to make sure that I was on the right track as well. And so we talked about smudging and cleansing, and every room, every corner that you can. Okay. You and I'd already talked about doing that. And
that's being done tomorrow because Mom and Damien won't be here, and neither will RJ.
Right. If you can, fan it underneath the edge of the bed. Open the closet doors, fan it into the closet doors. Make sure that you leave that door or window open that's back in that kitchen area, that little table area.
Yeah.
So that as you move through the house, down, and then out that door, iron. So whether it's a nail, a horseshoe, it could be an Art Deco star from Hobby Lobby.
I've got some iron laying around.
You want
I send it to people.
you want iron. And after you've done the cleansing, put iron over the door. Could be inside or out, but it needs to be that door. And then go to the other doorways, and a nail. I've
I
literally in the past just used a nail and set it up on the boards around the doorway.
That's what I'm planning on. That's what I'm going to do. So I didn't think about iron.
Yeah.
And again, like, it's just bizarre, because if this were any of my clients or any of you guys, I would be telling, but it's like I can't see past it. And I've never had this problem before in my whole life, but I think I'm getting so angry where usually my emotions don't get involved. It's just professional for me. Like, this is what's happening. But I've seen my
It's your
mom.
mom.
She literally
It's your
cried
boy.
last week. She came to me like this crying, and I felt so helpless. I'm like, if this was anyone else, I could help them, and I can't even protect my own mother. And I think it's like enjoying that very much.
I think you even sent me this piece of black tourmaline.
Yep, sure did.
The other thing that I want you to do for your mom is she put it in the corners of her room. Put a piece under her bed between the mattress and box springs, or between the mattress and the floor. Put a piece under her bed. That was the other thing that I talked to Sarah about. And black kyanite, not only does it have its base protection energies, it is the best stone for thwarting a psychic attack.
Kyanite or tourmaline?
Whether kyanite.
Okay.
No, tourmaline.
Yes, I was going to say, because I have tons of that.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm wearing both. That's probably what threw you off.
Tourmaline. Apparently, kyanite needs to be in that mix too, or I wouldn't have kept saying it.
Yeah,
so, but
I'm
tourmaline.
it.
Yeah, so just, and then, if she's going, drop a piece of it in her purse. Put a piece of it in her car. It's also going to help protect her when she's out and about.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking
of
putting...
So, tonight, before you go to bed, if you're still able to get into her room, just say, Mom, do this for me. This will help you sleep better. Okay? And put them in her room and leave it at that. And that should at least keep it out of her room so that she can get some rest. And you could do the same thing in your bedroom.
I've already got, I do have the
selenite. Put it in all four corners.
Right. I have the selenite under the bed. I have the little selenite pieces in all four corners, and I black witch salted the four corners, but that was a while ago. So I recently charged the selenite. I have the organite pyramid in there that I have to recharge. And then when I do the whole cleansing tomorrow, like, I'm going all out. Like, I'm doing the war water in the mop bucket. I'm crossing all the doorways with it. I've got holy water. Like, I am coming packed. So I'll just add all that in to what I'm already planning on doing. She has a question. If you want to answer her. Vixen Doe, that's really weird, because I sent out a few links today already to have meetings with people, and there was no issue with them at all. That's what actually StreamYard's for, is so that I can bring people on. So I do apologize. I don't know what's going on there. Miss Smoochy wants to know, how do I keep my daughter's negativity away from my money spell for her? Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah.
Like, you did a money spell for your daughter, but you feel like her coming in and always being so negative about things like money probably affect the outcome of the spell. Is that what I'm understanding? Because that really can. I have a client who is like, first of all, she wanted a love spell. And I was like, listen, I can't do a love spell. I said, but what I can do is I can give you a little bit of like follow me boy oil and, open his eyes a little bit for like the next week to you. But this is not a twin flame or soulmate situation. It's not really something that's meant to be long-term. And she's like, yeah, that's okay. That's okay. She paid me. I sent her something for a ritual. I explained to her about your intention has to have no doubt in it at all that it's going to work. And even then, it will only last for a week or two. Now, all of a sudden, I feel like I'm the bad guy because it didn't work. She didn't believe from the beginning it was going to work, but now she's like, I need him to love me and I'll pay you. I'm like, you can pay me $1 million.
That way.
It doesn't work because there's this little thing called free will. And I gave her a full-blown love reading about this particular relationship. And I'm not laughing at her or judging her at all because we all go through that. She's invested years and years with this person. He has taken everything he could get from her and also taken it from other women at the same time. And she's like, he belongs with me. And I'm trying to tell her, yeah, but your guides don't see it that way. And you're actually not contracted to be in long-term. So I'm trying to smooth that over with her, which is why I told Ghostdragonzw that from now on, any work that I do, and I won't be doing love spells anymore, even if the person says that they understand. I just don't want the hassle with it. I thought a little follow me boy oil would be something cute to do. I've used it before.
Something to feel attractive, sure.
Right. Yeah. To make yourself more attractive to the opposite sex, things like that. But I'm giving Steven some things that I need to specifically include in on out. Things such as, this is how long we'll be working for. The $120 you gave me does not cover the next 3 to 5 years. I'm not at your beck and call, things like that, but also explaining kind of the way things work. And also that I'm not a medical doctor. Okay. So Smoochie says, yes, that's exactly what she was talking about.
Okay. So what I want to do, once we can get Vixen Doe in,
I don't think she's
let her start telling. Just watch my tongue. Can't do a thing with it.
She's not coming. She's not coming in tonight. The links aren't working.
So what I want to do is, I'll look up what's going to be the best intuitively for promoting positivity for your daughter, and we can do stones that she could gift her, whether it's in jewelry or just in tumble form that she could carry with her. Off the top of my head, I could say citrine. Citrine is a very positive. It's also good for attracting wealth, success in a positive way. And it also helps to uplift the spirit, uplift the negativity of the person that's using it or carrying it. There's also essential oils and flowers, herbs that can be worked with. Off the top of my head, I would have to research it. I've got all my books piled all around. You should see the mess I made. But that would be my best recommendation at the moment. Start with citrine, and we'll go from there. And I will look at what we need for you to help you. Now, like Gemma said, this is not a guarantee. This is here's another tool to help you in your arsenal.
Yeah, and I think it's important, guys. My Wi-Fi is really wonky. If I'm cutting in and out, I apologize. I know there's a little bit of a lag, but it's important that we understand that too. And like when working with anything like this, it's all about intention. So even when you're doing the manifestation exercises, all the things that Miss Lara is talking about are things that I'll send out to my clients. If you guys ever want to help with something like that, I do consult her sometimes about things like that. Like if I'm not sure something going on with a client, because you are very wise and you know your stuff. And if you don't know, you're like me and you'll say, well, I'm not sure right now, but let me go. You don't just pull things out of your mind. Yeah. Like I got my little notebook over here too, where it's like, oh, let me just say the best thing that sounds good, because it, at the end, you always end up looking bad and it makes the community look bad. But it's like, you really have to understand, like I send out books, manifestation, the 555 way that I do it, where 55 times you write the manifestation. And on the 5th night, you write how the manifestation has affected you, but you're writing all this as though you already have all those things. If you're writing those things distracted, if you're writing those things, I'm so grateful that I have millions of dollars in my bank account and so much more. And the whole time you're thinking, yeah, right, how is that even going to happen? Then you're like deflecting the energy, and it's not going to happen for you. And I have to be mindful of that myself. And like, I know that to be true. So someone just coming into this, you really have to keep in mind that nothing is the end all and be all. Nothing's a cure all. Magic is magic, but it's not magic like we see on TV, right? We can't, unfortunately, go like this and, you know, whatever, $1 million is in front of us. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Maybe there are some witches who can do that, but I would question who they are bringing in to help them with things like this. You want to keep everything light.
Yeah.
There's no dark magic. There's no black magic or white magic, but you work in certain vibrations, and there is higher, you know, lower and higher frequencies.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, you have to look at it from the idea, the concept that what energies we put out there, our thoughts, our words, our actions, those literally on the quantum level are sending out vibrations. So with doing a spell, as she's doing for daughter to help with finances, and you're concerned that she's having a negative attitude about financial situation. So by perpetuating that thought process, you are also perpetuating that thread, if you will, of energy, of that negativity, not enforcing it directly, but supporting it. And so when it starts to come into you that way, take a moment, take a deep breath, and say, I am grateful for my daughter's new attitude towards success in all its forms and functions. And when you do that, also say, however it makes sense to you, in love and light, you know, in peace and harmony, this shall be, or this is.
This is.
You know, if you're drawing it in, this shall be. If you're wanting to see it in this moment in time, say, this is. And it's the same principle in doing mantras, in saying prayers, as it is in doing spells. That you want to make sure that each thought process, as you go through it, is done in a positive manner towards the effect and the end that you want to achieve.
Yep. Absolutely.
Always keeping in mind free will.
He is gone. Okay, Jules, then I will retract my last comment. I'm like, I can't wait until we finally do this video call, because I'm confident that you're going to see that he just needs to go. And you're like, oh, and my brother's gone. Yes. Good for you. I'm really excited about that. Guys, you know, love spells, and you see like voodoo dolls, and it's so tricky because I can't say that, you know, there's no one in the entire world who's able to do things at the snap of a finger. You know, I used to accidentally cause people to get hurt by thinking about it. I don't know how I did that. I'm glad I can no longer do that.
You're not alone.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know, I think a lot of us, especially as teenagers and women, girls, are just able to, like, man, I can't stand that guy. He should get hit by a car. And then, like, he gets hit by a car. You know, that's very traumatic. But for the most part, it takes work. But I heard one witch say one time on a stream, and I just kind of shook my head. She's like, first of all, if someone wants to curse someone else, it would take so much energy. They would never be doing anything else. That's not true. Like, it can be done, but you have to remember, even with curses, free will gets involved. Like I said, a follow me boy. That's one of my favorite things to offer people who want to love spell, because it's something that I know works. It's the oil. I make it myself, so I know what's in there, and I've used it myself. You have to use it the right way with the right intention, 2 drops in each shoe heel. And you say the little incantation and know that it's going to work. And it does. But it works for a few days. It doesn't work forever. And that's not really a love spell, so to speak. It's a kind of like, now I'm going to treat you how you treat me because you're going to be a puppy for me. And even those types of things are dangerous to work with. Bring back around to you. And I learned that as well. I thought it was harmless. And then I thought about it and I'm like, well, how did I feel when I was being treated like that? You know, and that goes back to,
right.
It's all cyclical. It's like, okay, so now I have to think about, you know, treating others the way they treat me, which again, I don't believe we should be treating others the way they treat us. I believe we should treat others the way we treat others and let them go about treating people the way that they want to and just stay out of their way and keep their energy off of your energy if they treat you badly. The whole world would be blind. And if someone's rude to you, treating others the way they treat you, that would mean that I would have to come outside of myself and who I am and the better person that I'm trying to be and be rude to them. And I don't want to be a rude person. So I'll be nice to them and pray for them and love them from a distance. So I even stopped doing that. But when I have someone begging me and pleading, I'm like, all right, this is what we can do. But it's like there's never a situation where the person actually understands what I'm saying. And once I realized that this person was not interested at all in any of the spiritual aspect to any of this, I kind of had to cut ties. But now it's like, oh, you know, she didn't help me. And now I have to deal with that type of backlash for something that I didn't even want to do to begin with. But I did it to help a friend. So lesson learned. And that's why from now on, I'm just going to draw up little easy contracts. Like you get this part of it, you get that part of it. And I guess I should have done that in
well, you get cruising
Well,
and
yeah.
You learn by mistakes. That's simple as that.
Trial and error.
But now I know why I walked around when I was there holding grocery bags and chauffeuring people everywhere. Follow me, little boy. Follow me.
Yeah, you know, there's so much better things we could be
She
doing
could
with our
play it off.
energy. Like, you know, I said, like, why don't you listen to the 45-minute reading I gave you and listen to what your guides have to say about it? You know, there's someone, you know, who's going to reciprocate the amazingness that you've been giving this guy all these years. And nope, it has to be him. And I'm like, okay. And I just kind of sat back and was like, wow, I'm really glad that I understand the world a little bit better than that. And I hope that she finds someone who does reciprocate. But there's nothing more I can do at that point, because then we're getting into like, you want me to like hex people. And like, I just, you know, I don't believe in that. But it can be done. I think that anyone can do anything depending upon their abilities. I'm not a cure-all. You know, I was just telling Stephen about this. I've had people come to me and say, hey, you know, what do you know about past life regression? You know, can you help me with A, B, and C? And I really need this. And I'll answer back, well, I don't do past life regressions. And it's like, well, what do you mean you can't do that? Well, I can't do everything. I'm not you know, a sorceress. I can only work with the abilities that I have. And I don't even work with all of them, because that would mean I'd have to learn everything there is to know about every single ability. And I do have a lot of them. So I focus on the ones that will help me help people the most. How can I most help people? Which abilities can I use to most help people? Not to harm people or get revenge on people or force someone to be in a relationship they don't want to be in. How can I help, you know, in that example, her find love or find the self-love that she no longer cares about, forcing someone who's obviously terrible for her into a relationship, things like that, you know. But I will tell them I don't know. I won't be like, oh, I was telling Stephen, like, I could have made thousands of dollars by now if you were a gypsy princess, and, you know, like, whatever. You know, anyone can say anything. And that's why you have to really know who you're dealing with, and why I try to make a personal connection with everybody that not only I come across, but especially those people who do give me their money and who I work with on a weekly basis, you know, to try to be there for them and my friends, because it really does. If you can't stay on the side of me, or if you don't like my voice, or if you don't trust me, then there's always going to be that weird energy between us, and you're not going to fully take in what I'm trying to teach you or help you with.
Absolutely.
Energy is energy, and it all circles back around.
And so the whole idea of the love spell, the creating that connection, the first thing that person needs to really do is why. Ask themselves why. And is it infatuation? Is it obsession? Those things need to be looked at along with, is it true love?
I did ask that.
And is it reciprocated?
She was like, well, now I've given him all this. He's going to give it to me. And it's like, it just doesn't. Wouldn't it be wonderful if love worked that way? Wouldn't it be great? We would all end up with the first person we thought we were in love with if it was that reciprocal, right? We have trial and error in everything that we do. And I was concerned because I feel like maybe she's going to go to someone who may be willing to help her with a little bit of the darker stuff. But I had to wash my hands with it. And I really just hope that she finds somebody who is deserving of her. And it's the same, where he finds someone that he doesn't feel the need to use and in that way anymore. This person has a career job. She has her own place. She's a single mom. She's an amazing human being. She's 50 something years old and beautiful, attractive wise, physically, but also on the inside. But she's just like, and it happens to all of us at some point in our life. I believe it does anyway, not just women. I know with me, it's happened where I was like, no, like with Damien's father, I'm like, he's like, we shouldn't be together. I'm like, no, not happening. Like, you're not breaking out. Like, and I did that to him for like 4 years, It's just something we do. And I'm glad that I kind of grew out of that. What's up, Jeff? What's up in Edna Slow Motion? Anyone that I missed? Oh, now he's just Huff with a cool face. You are the cool guy, awesome smiley emoji, Jeff. Do you guys like my new jammies though? It's a dragon.
No, they are adorable.
It's a shame. I bet they don't glow in the dark, and that would have been cool if they did.
Well, people were asking, like, do they glow in the dark? Because I won't show you guys the shorts because they're a little inappropriate for stream. They're kind of short, but they're pretty much the same thing, and they have these green dragons all over them. So they look like they would glow in the dark, but I think that would be kind of creepy, like to wake up in the middle of the night and forget that I have glowing pajamas. Even though RJ does like the glow in the dark stuff a lot. Smoochie lost her Sasquatch like figurine thing that we gave her for Christmas. She's like freaking out.
Another Squatch took it, thought it was a child.
Yeah, I know, you're absolutely right. Can't force love no matter what spell she may use. And that's exactly the thing. You can manifest anything that you want into your life, but or you can try, but the right people, the right with the right intention and the right mindset, and we all fall out of that mindset. I've been having kind of a blah week myself. Matter of fact, Jeff, I just emailed you. I'm like, I'm just feeling blah. I've had a great 3 weeks where I was like, go, 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 go. This is great. And then I just crashed. I'm a Pisces sun. We tend to do that. We tend to get like extremely overwhelmed over like the tiniest thing. And then like the biggest thing that would overwhelm the most normal person, we're like, yeah, whatever. I'm like overwhelmed for no reason, but I'll pull myself out of it. And luckily I have a long weekend to spend with my family. So I am excited.
But from one Pisces sun to another, it comes down to we recognize it.
Right.
We know when we're doing that, and okay, I see it happening. I know what's going on. I've got to get X, Y, and Z done.
Yes.
And then I'll be back on the upslope, and it'll be fine.
That's exactly where I'm at. I'm like, I'm going to do what I absolutely have to do, but also there's a lot of my work that I enjoy doing. And then I was like, I'm only going to do tomorrow, Friday, what the work that I absolutely must do and the work I enjoy doing. And luckily for me, it's one and the same thing, and it's one thing. So I'm like, all right. And then I need that like recharge time of doing absolutely nothing. To be honest, I will probably end up writing and working, but it's like different, like when it's on my own time and I'm like, oh, I feel like doing this now. And, that's someone who's never been, had to be responsible for myself ever in my entire life, kind of moving into having to be an adult now. I've never had to do that before. So I'm learning, like, what most 20-year-olds learn, now at 40, that, like, sometimes we have to do things we really don't feel like doing, but it comes on, and I know when it's coming on, like you said. And then when it does, I'm like, okay, I need to take a step back, and kind of, that's when I go into like super hermit mode, where, like, unless I have to text you, I won't. And I do that for a couple days, and then I come out of it and I'm good as new, good to go for the next 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You're so loud.
Yeah, same here. Absolutely. Same here.
I was going to say so. I was going to yell, "Hi, Mom."
It never ends.
Is she giving you a tumor?
I always forget, Miss
tumor.
Lara, that you are a Pisces sun. And in fact, I didn't think I knew that about you. I knew you were definitely water, but I didn't know which.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
need a lot of
mostly
Pisces.
earth and fire, but yeah, I am a Pisces sun.
I'm Pisces sun with almost exclusively fire in my whole chart is almost exclusively Aries and Sagittarius. Almost everything. I think I have one Cancer placement, one Scorpio placement, and no Earth placements at all.
And that's why you need me. You need some earth.
The grounding, yes. And I never
Uh-huh.
realized like why I was so the way that I was until I started learning about charts and things like that. And then I was like, oh, that makes actually a lot of sense. But once I knew that, then I knew how to incorporate things into my life that'll help bring that down to earth energy. People, certain crystals that I keep on me at all times, specifically grounding crystals, because those are those nice earthy crystals. But even when I first figured it out, I didn't really know what it meant, and I had to really look into it. And I was like, oh my God, like that is why I'm almost never grounded. I'm quick to, fly off the handle.
Yeah, you're up here all the time.
Yeah, all the time, literally. I have I do have one or two air placements too, but for the most part, I am definitely fire. And my rising sign is Aries, is fire. And your rising sign or your ascendant is the sign that is like people's first impressions of you. So I always get a lot of people that say, wow, you're a Pisces, really? Meaning a Pisces sun. And that's because when I first meet people, my energy is very outgoing and straightforward and fire. Once you know me, then you understand that that's just how I am some of the time. For the most part, I'm very introverted to myself, and but that's why most people do think I'm a fire sign, because I am technically in my ascendant, and then I have the Libra moon balancing it all out there, which is like Pisces sun, Libra moon is like avoid confrontation at all costs. I always say I'd rather lay on the ground on my back and put my arms and legs up like a turtle rather in the middle of an argument rather than actually have an argument. But I'm coming out of that too, and I'm learning how to politely but firmly stand up for myself. And that's actually one of my manifestations. I give myself permission to be treated with respect and dignity at all times. And it's crazy that that's something that I have to give myself permission for, but it just is. I know myself enough to know that that's what I have to do. Hi, Foxy's friends. Welcome. Don't know that I've ever seen that name before.
Hey, Foxies. You came over from First Floor Audio.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I was listening to some of Lee's music a little while ago, and
Lee's channel.
Yeah, Foxy's friend is friends also with Anthony, Unidentified S4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He sent me a really cool Mandalorian pop hero, like one of those, what are they called? Pop heroes with with Grogu. And then he sent me a tree of life, a silver tree of life ring and another ring, and some really awesome laptop stickers, actually. And I have 2 extra laptop stickers that I'm going to be putting in the next 2 boxes that I send out.
That's cool.
Hoff says, by declaring that... I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, Shelly, thank you so much. I was just saying something that Jeff was saying to Vixen Doe, by declaring that falling in love again is slim to none, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. As Gemma said, we create our reality. Do you know where I learned about creating my own reality from? I mean, I knew that it was a concept and I knew a lot about energy and things like that. But Jeff is actually the one that taught me a lot of what I know about manifesting, the power of positive thinking, positive affirmation, self-fulfilling prophecies, making sure that they're positive.
Mm-hmm.
And that's definitely true. Unless that's something that you want, maybe you don't want romantic love in your life. And that's always okay too. Sometimes we don't feel like we need that. But I know that I'm very careful, like as careful as any human can be, I think, like negative about anything. My mom is like that, like, oh, of course. Like the minute I wake up, I'll walk downstairs and my mom will be like, oh, great. And I'm like, what now? And she's like, oh, it's supposed to snow in 7 days, and I'm just like, what are we talking about? Like,
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to be able to go do this. And I'm like, but we are going to be able to do it because everything's going to work out great. She's like, well, you don't know that. I'm like, well, you don't know that, and then she gets like,
Exactly.
But I have to counter it because otherwise it affects me and affects my energy. And then I start becoming like gloomy Gus. Jules, thank you so much. Shelly, thank you.
Crazy. Oh, how sweet.
They really are. Yeah, Jeff, I was, a lot of the things I listen to now, like Joe Dispenza, who you turned me on to, and quite a few others, even a few people that read tarot, they talk about how like, everything that we've ever wanted is already out there in the ether. It's just about looking up and reaching up and finding it. And how we find it is we manifest our way there, and that to me was awesome because then I started like, it's my birthright to be financially abundant. It's my birthright to be, loved and supported unconditionally. It's my birthright to be successful. And these are all the things that I tell myself and write down 55 times a night, every single night. And for a long time, I was doing really well with them. But the last 2 weeks or so, not so much. And I did understand last night why that's probably happening. I started with a manifestation of money. Like, I'm so grateful I have X amount of money in my bank account. But there's this part
don't
of
limit
me,
yourself.
Well, it's always and more. I have this amount of money and more. But there's a part of me that keeps thinking as I write this, how is that even possible? How are you going to do that? Whereas with my other manifestations, it's like I can envision it. It's happening. I'm there in the moment. This one manifestation, I realized what I was doing. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to put a number on it now because when I didn't put a number on it and I just said lots of money or whatever, it was really working. Once I put that number on there and like topped that off, then my doubts started kicking in. Like, that's not even possible. Do you know how many years that would take? And I didn't realize I was doing it till last night. I started getting like down, like, why did they all of a sudden stop working on me? I was doing so good. And then multifaceted Jules. We did not schedule again for the doctor appointment thing that I have to do every month. And I think by the time I go back next month, I won't actually have to take the 4 days off anymore. But it's going to have to be next Thursday, but it is going forward. Aside from, again, something happening with my Wi-Fi, we're going to be perfect and just fine. And I've already started it off. So I could talk to you more about that in private. But next Thursday, that night is yours. It can be either 5, 6, or 7. We've got to go for at least 2 hours. And that's what my mom does. She says that she just asks for, to be a better person and to, just sometimes feel like better physically.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. And it comes down to whether you do it verbally or you write it down. The act of manifestation, you're putting that energy out there on a quantum level for it to be returned to you, just like the pebble that's dropped in the pool of water. Those ripples are going to go out and they're going to work their way back. And depending on what it is, how it's supposed to be, that ripple may take a little longer to come in. It may come in a lot faster. You got to be careful when it comes in too fast because it will knock you on your butt
Yeah, that's
in
true
many
too.
ways.
Jeff, you're so right, and that's why I love my conversations with you. When, Jeff said manifesting is a daily practice of living, brain, heart
100%.
coherence in the desired state. We don't get fit by going to the gym once. It's all about consistency. And absolutely. And Lara, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I didn't want to lose that thought.
Okay.
As you were saying, it's like, we kind of have to, some of us have to work our way up to it. And I am a firm believer, and not that many people really believe in this. And they always say, Gem, you're crazy. I'm a big believer in birth chart. Like, before I date someone, I want to know their entire chart. Like, I want to know, like, I actually have looked people up before. I'm a big believer in that. And I believe that a lot of the ways that in which we behave, a lot of the things that we do have to do with that chart. And I think some people are just better at living the manifestations, or the brain heart coherence, like Jeff said, much easier than others.
Absolutely.
Some of us are
Absolutely.
constantly
Yeah.
distracted by other things, or constantly doubting. It also has to do with so many things. But I don't think it's impossible for anyone to be able to achieve everything that they've ever wanted if they really want to. It's a lot of work, but I just always focus on
and
the
we're
end.
human.
Yeah.
We're human.
It screws
Living
us.
a human experience and having that, all of a sudden you've stubbed your toe and this day is now just going horrible. You need to snap yourself out of it as fast as possible. Take those deep breaths. Go, okay. It was just one little thing. It was just one little thing. It was no big deal. It was one little thing. And let it go. Because if you hold on to it of, oh, I did this, and oh, this happened, and oh, that happened, you are pulling in that negative vibration that is going to make you sick.
Right. And it ruins it like reverberates and vibrates into everything else. It like seeps its way in. I know it takes a lot of practice, but it's almost like when I tell you guys, for instance, when we get negative entities that feed off of us, especially when we're sleeping. So most specifically, sleep paralysis. If you wake up in that fear and terror, that's going to be your initial reaction. I don't care who you are. For the most part, that's going to be your initial reaction. But if you can just force yourself to start laughing, or to think about something funny, think about something other than the fear, than the entity, you can actually train yourself to automatically do that over time. So when you get used to being like, ouch, that hurt. Okay, moving on. And not letting every little thing affect you. You don't want to get to the point where you're totally numb to everything around you. But it's like this big balance that, it takes lifetimes to achieve, guys. And all we can do is the best we can while we're here, in this 3D suit that we're in. But
is that
Blue Crossroads. Hold on, I gotta write down Blue Crossroads info. I want to let Lara and Steven talk for a couple of minutes because I'm going to end in about 10, guys, so that I can rest up from last night too. Miss Lara,
that totally works.
Any parting words?
Don't let me forget, and I will. I'll message you with what I come up with. It was Smoochie, right? That was looking at things to promote positivity. And so between the two of us, I'm sure we can at least give them some tools to work with for a better outcome. Other than that, I can't think of anything. You and I, we talked a little bit before the stream about what's been going on in the house. I think you've got a good handle on that. Perhaps after you've been able to do the steps we talked about, maybe next week we could take 5 or 10 minutes and talk to everybody in the chat and let them know what's going on. And
for sure.
Has it worked? Has it not worked? What's changed? What hasn't changed?
I know a lot of you guys are dealing with stuff like this too, because you reach out to me about it. And it's so frustrating because I can help you with any of these issues. But again, I think it's playing on my emotional attachment to my mom. Because even like
100%.
with RJ, he slipped and he was like, "Oh, that was weird. Felt like something pushed me," and just like went on his way. He wasn't hurt. But
And that's the attitude that you were talking
yeah,
about. That's the
like a
exact
4.5
attitude.
year old.
That shrugging it off, that laughing it off of, oh, that was weird. Oh, still,
Yeah,
oh well, yeah.
we've trained him to laugh at that kind of stuff. Like if he hears the growling, we're like, "Oh my gosh, that dog again outside. What is he doing?" And so now he associates it with some random stray dog that doesn't exist. But he's 4.5. He doesn't need to be brought into that part of it yet.
Yeah.
Blue Crossroads, yes, I need place of birth and morning or night, sir.
See, my son brought me home a gift.
Oh,
Sam.
you little Funko Pop.
Sam.
Oh,
Sam from
Nice.
Halloween.
Oh my
nice.
gosh.
Sam
That is so
from Halloween.
awesome. That's
He's
like
got
the
it
Michael
in a
Myers Tia
case and
pet you got me.
everything. Yeah.
That's so cool. I still have my Britney Spears pop hero. Steven, is there anything? You've been silent again all night. He's always like, "You girls got this." I'm like, "No, but we still need you there. You bring energy to the stream.
Yes, we
I
need
People
you.
put it
expect
off.
to see you."
I glow. No, not really. I just hope that everybody has a good weekend. And next Thursday, I got some things in mind that I'm going to surprise the girls with.
Things and stuff. That's what I'm always talking
So
about.
we're going to see what happens if everything pulls through like I'm hoping it should. And you should be getting something, Gemma, tomorrow afternoon, which will really be interesting for you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a late gift. It
More
took a
gifts.
while for him to order.
All of these things are late birthday gifts.
No, but it really is. It really is.
I
I screwed up the birthday
Well,
year.
late, early. It's
who
just,
doesn't
it's
love
all a matter
getting
of
gifts?
perception.
But I don't know. People say
No.
things and it makes me they're like say things about me, but I don't care because I know it comes from love and I love you to death.
Yeah, I know. I'm just a nice guy. No, actually, it was. I screwed up the actual year on it.
Oh, that's right. You did. He asked me the other night. He's like, "I know you were born March 1st, 1982, but what time?" And I'm like, "I was born in 83. I thought you were looking up my birth because I'm so used to looking up people's birth charts."
I was doing that
That's
too.
what he was doing. I was like, "By the way, it was Patterson, New Jersey." And yes, birthday month. So that does make sense. All right, guys, let me pull you guys out. I'm going to say good night. Lara, thank you so much for
Everybody
joining
have
us.
a good weekend.
Guys, if you want to get in touch with Lara, her name on Facebook and her email is in the description box now. All right. So go ahead and check that out. She also reads tarot if you guys are interested in that. Tarot, right? Not Oracle or both.
I can do either. I can absolutely do either.
That's like I do either, but I prefer Oracle, but I know it's tarot. So either way, baby UFO, yeah, because we sometimes we go to 10, sometimes 9, but after the 3.5 hour stream on Wednesday night, plus I do actually have a job that I work all day, even though it's from home and in front of the computer. So I get a little tired, but it was so nice seeing you guys again. This Monday, we will not be doing a live stream, but I will have a pre-recorded out for you guys because I'm trying to fill in every single Monday. There's something, Wednesday, there's Oracle, and Thursday, there's this. So either way, Monday at shooting for 11 a.m., you guys will get a live premiere of a video. And I've got some ideas coming in from someone that I respect very much that I'm hoping that something he suggests is something doable for me and I can make the channel even better and figure something out with the pre-recordeds because my views are really down, but I know like they're not the best because I can't do editing. So I'm always working in the background to make the channel bigger and better, not just for myself, but for you guys too. Even though you guys don't see that part of it, it really is a constant brainstorming event where I'm trying this out, trying that out. So thanks for your
That's a good idea, wasn't it?
Love you guys. What?
The idea I gave you for videos. The idea I gave you for videos was not a good idea. And you're giving me that look.
Crickets. I don't understand.
I said, see, I
heard what you said, but I don't remember what the idea was.
About the Oracle cards.
Oh, yeah, guys. He actually did, and I'm going to write it down because if you notice, I already forgot. He
I
actually
wrote it
gave
down.
me a really amazing idea for the show, having somewhat to do with Wednesday night that nobody else is doing as far as I know. So that's going to be really cool. I may try to get that into motion in the next week or two. All right, guys, love you. Hit me up if you need anything. But, tomorrow I'm really not doing anything until Wednesday again. It's my family and / doctor weekend. So, but if you need me, I'm always here for you guys. Miss Lara, thank you for everything. I'm going to pull you out. Have a great
and light.
night. Love you. All right, Mr. Steven, I'll talk to you in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. I can't say enough how much I appreciate you guys. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for tuning in. And I will see you guys next time. Bye. Wish I could just end there. It's like so awkward. I'm like, blue kisses. Oh, now I have to actually go and do stuff to end the stream.